afternoon, sir.
Thank you.
I'm Dima and Craft, and you?
I am Sidney Davis. Sidney Lewis Davis Jr.
Where are you from?
I'm from Boston, Massachusetts, United States.
What was the thing that brought you here to celebrate this festival today?
I'm actually returning. I was first here in July of 2012. 2012. It was the first time I came here.
What's the link you have with the Igbo guy?
I was the first African American to come to Igbo land and to receive an Igbo name and to undergo the cleansing process that removed from me and my ancestors the stigma of slavery. I was the very first one who did that.
The first person to return to your ancestors.
I was the first African American of Igbo descent to return to Igbo land in 2012, July 12, and he welcomed me back home and he made me a prince and gave me an Igbo name. My name is Prince Olununo I of Udu-Iri Kingdom.
Udu-Iri Kingdom?
Yes.
How did you find out that you have link with this kingdom?
When I came to Nigeria in 2012, I came here to do research on the Igbo. It's a long story. It's a long story, yeah, because during my first journey to Nigeria, I embarked on what would become a life-changing discovery while conducting research on the Igbo people and their cultural heritage. What occasioned me to come here was I was a research partner with Queen Mother Catherine Ashurano, and we together have been doing research on the Igbo as being the original man on the planet Earth. And what happened in July of 2012 was she and I came to the palace to present to the Isreal our findings about the Igbo people. And to sum it up, I'm not going to give you a long dissertation, but to sum it up, the Igbos are older than the Bible or anything in it.
The Igbos are older than the Bible.
The Igbos are older than the Bible or anything in it. And I came here to present my findings to the Isreal and to his cabinet about my research on the Igbo people. Igbo DNA is 450,000 genetic years distance. 450 years genetic distance. That's how old the Igbo DNA is. You know, DNA don't lie. The Bible's only 6,000 years old. Now, who's older? So, the research that I heard today, there's only one thing wrong about what they say about the Jewish origins of the Igbo. There's only one thing wrong with that thesis. And that one thing is this. It's backwards. That's it. Igbos don't come from Jews. The Jews come from Igbos. Okay? We are the original man. All mankind comes from Igbo. Igbo mankind originated right here. And it spread throughout Africa and then throughout the whole world. That was my thesis. And that was what I was here to present to the Isreal and to his cabinet about my research findings. It was myself and Catherine Ashurano who had done this research. We co-authored a book called Eden in Suma on the Niger. We co-authored that book, and we were presenting the findings of our research to the Isreal, and that's the reason why I came in contact with Isreal. I came here to share with him our research about the origins of the Igbo.
During the DNA, were you among the people that they collected DNA on?
No, that came after. That came after, because I had already told them, and they wouldn't believe what I was telling them. And so we had some Jews to come here to take DNA to prove what I was saying. That there is no Jewish DNA among the Igbo. But you will find Igbo DNA among the Jews.
When you talk of Eri, that is a progenitor now, is this same Eri that is referred to the Bible Eri?
No relationship whatsoever. And let me tell you why. Our people, and when I say our people, I'm including my Igbo people, we are victims of the Bible. Not only are we victims of the Bible, we are victims of the King James Version of the Bible. You understand? Eri was the son of Zilpah, the wife of Jacob, the handmaiden or slave of Leah. Igbos are not slaves, and Igbos are not descendants of slaves. Igbos cannot be slaves. It is impossible for them to be slaves. Therefore, they cannot be descended from no slave. Gad is the daughter of Zilpah, a slave, who was the slave wife of Jacob. That is the reason why the Igbos are not descendant from anyone named Eri in the Bible. We are descendants of Eri, but not the Eri in the Bible. You understand? It's just a coincidence that we find that the name Eri appears in the King James Version. It's a coincidence, and there are many coincidences. One coincidence is that there are many things that the Igbo share with respect to cultures that we have with the people of Israel. One of those is that our people, the Igbos, they are circumcised on the 8th day. But that's a difference. There's a difference between the circumcision of Israel and the circumcision of the Igbos. Because the circumcision of Israel is by covenant for males only. The Igbos, anciently, when they circumcised their males, they also circumcised their females. Did you know that? That's why it's not the same. It's not the same. Because in Israel, we don't circumcise females. The covenant is not to women, it's to men. Right? Now, I speak as a Jewish scholar. I'm a Jewish scholar. I was raised Jewish. I wasn't coming here to find my Jewish ancestry. Right? I wasn't coming here to find my Jewish ancestry. I came here to reject it. Actually, I came here to reject it. And when I came here, I found out that my brothers want to be Jews. I couldn't understand why. When their history is more ancient and more honorable and more profound. You lived before Adam. Before Adam was created in the Bible, Igbos were already in existence. All right? And I learned that after I had graduated from Hebrew College as a Jewish scholar. I ran into Catherine Isreal, and she was telling me this history, this anthropology about the Igbo people. And I'm newly graduated from Hebrew College, and I'm listening to this woman talk, and I thought she was out of her mind. I said, how can we be talking about something that is contrary to the Bible? You see? And I was very skeptical about what she was portraying in her scholarship. And all this is a matter of record. If you go on Facebook, you will find her and I arguing about her thesis. But what I decided to do, I said, why do I keep arguing with this woman, Catherine Isreal? So I said at the time, this was in 2010, I said at the time, rather than me just argue with her, let me just buy her books and study them. And that's what I did. In a matter of a year, I became a believer in Igbo culture and origins. So that's how I began my contact with about the Igbo. I knew about the Isreal through my contact with Catherine Ashelono, because the title of the Isreal is very ancient. It goes way beyond the Bible. The Sun King. All right. Here's another fallacy that you want to take into account. If you ever have an Igbo Bible, there is an Igbo Bible written in the Igbo language. I have it, and I've studied it. And the Igbos have a saying that Chukwu Ambiyama is the God of Abraham, right? There's only one thing wrong with that theory. It's not in the Igbo Bible. It's not in the Igbo Bible. You won't find it in the Igbo Bible. Now, all you got to do is get the Igbo Bible, look for Chukwu Abiyama. You will not find it in there, because Chukwu Abiyama is more ancient than the God of Abraham, who is called El Shaddai.
Okay, so let me ask one question again. From your research work, where do you have Igbo settled in foreign countries who were enslaved during slave trade?
So,
from your research work, where do you have Igbo people where they settled? Those that were enslaved during slave trade, where do they settle?
Where you what?
Those Igbos who were enslaved,
yes.
Where do they settle?
Who did you relate to?
Who were enslaved during the slave trade?
Who were they enslaved to?
Where they were enslaved to.
Well, when they brought African Americans to the United States, they split us up. And so all up and down the East Coast, you will find Igbos who were enslaved to various slave masters on various plantations. So, for instance, my ancestors came from a plantation in North Carolina. But the Igbos were enslaved on plantations all the way from Maryland, all down the east coast of Florida. That's where you will find the ancestry of most of the Igbos that were taken captive in the United States. They say that 65% of all Africans who were taken into slavery are Igbo. And that's mostly on the east coast of the United States. Yeah.
Thank you very much, sir. I appreciate your time. Thank you.
God bless you.